remember when the first 3 or 4 years, like every customer, we would have to be like, introduce ourselves, explain what we did, like explain the process, and now like we don't have to say anything. And it's just so nice to feel so embraced by, the community and just feel like people have like their favorite teas and favorite things.
Burgers, tacos, pizza. Oh my! Season 7 of the No Dishes podcast is here. Once again, brought to you by Visit Bloomington. Check them out at visitbloomington.com. Especially if you live in Bloomington, you'll find out about all this cool stuff going on around town that you had no idea about. Also, please support our other advertisers on this episode. The best way to show us some love is to show them some love. You already know what I'm going to say. Play that theme song.
Hey, say, honey, let's go out to eat. Relieve our culinary duties. With all these restaurants to sweep us off our feet, they're bound to turn us into foodies. No dishes, no dishes, no dishes. We'll have a bottle of wine for lights and have a good time. No dishes, no dishes.
Should I don't know how bad this would be if I'm like, we'll try it out. If we don't like it, we'll cut it.
Okay.
Would you like some tea and crumpets? All right, we'll leave it. You know what? Screw it. We're here with Jessica Messmer of Kettle Tea Company. How are you?
I'm good.
Gave that zero thought and just did it. And that's not going to offend anybody, right?
No.
Just a terrible British accent?
Not at all. I didn't realize that's what you were going for.
No, yeah, I don't. Yeah. That's how you know it's terrible. You're like, oh, that was British. Interesting.
Like, way to go.
Yeah, good for you, Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here. I don't think we've had anyone that specializes in just what you guys do in tea. So yeah, we're filling a void, checking off the box, and you guys have been in business for quite a while on North Walnut. Mm-hmm. How did you decide? Hey, I'm going to open up a cup and kettle.
God. Well, so my a partner and I, we had our own separate businesses, and we would always work together, and we'd always have tea together when we worked together. And so we were like, oh, if we ever start something, we would have it tea centered. And so I was driving one day, and I was thinking like, oh, now might be a good time to open the cafe. And then right after I had that thought, she called and she's like, hey, do you want to open a cafe? And I was like, oh my God, yes. So I think that was like 2014, 2015.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
And then so, it was just meant to be. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you get that call and you're like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Take us through the steps of making it actually happen. Because so many people have the idea of like, ooh, I'm going to open this, I'm going to open that. This would be cool.
Yeah.
But so few people really follow through.
Yeah. There were a lot more steps than I thought. It was like one of those things where if I knew what I was getting myself into, maybe I would have chosen a different path. But I'm glad that I chose the path that I chose. But it was a lot. We thought we were going to have a farm and we were going to make our own tea.
Oh,
then we
very ambitious.
Yeah,
I like
very ambitious. And then we quickly changed our mind on that once we found out what it took to grow tea. And then we thought, oh, well, maybe we'd start at the farmer's market and, sell at little stands. And we approached the market and they said we would have to have our tea leaves tested in Indianapolis at like a lab. And so
is this the Bloomington City Farmers Market? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So then we were like, okay, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, it does.
So then we were like, okay, well, maybe we'll get like a tea truck and like we'll, go to places with tea truck. But then we had to have a commercial kitchen. And in 2015, 2016, those were really hard to come by. We couldn't find a commercial kitchen within like a 60-mile radius.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were even like calling local restaurants, seeing if they could let us use part of their kitchen space.
Like when they're closed.
Yeah. Yeah. And we just weren't having any luck. So then we're like, okay, well, we might as well just open the cafe. And so then we started down that path. And it just so happened that, like, I think right around that time, the city had just changed rules where they required this new grease interceptor that any building under 2 years old wasn't up to code. And so that was a big hurdle. So we went through at least 20 locations just trying to figure out, trying to find a good fit.
Yeah, because to put the grease interceptor in an existing place is what, $50,000 or something? Yeah, expensive.
Yeah. It's a lot for something that you don't own. You can't take with you. So yeah, so that was a big hurdle. And then right around the time we were ready to sign the lease, we were always, for 2 years, we were 2 weeks from signing a lease. And so we had all these followers. I think we had about 3,000 Instagram followers at the time.
Before you would even open your doors.
Yeah, before we were even open.
How did you get that following?
Well, people were just so excited. We would do these little pop-ups in all these little local stores around downtown Bloomington, and people would just show up and kind of follow us. So it was almost like a game. Like we would like sort of say like, oh, we're here today. And then people would like kind of race out and try to find us. And yeah, it was really exciting. And then we were always like, oh, we're gonna, we were always like a week away from announcing where we were going to be, but then the lease would fall through. But then we were already onto a new space, and excited about the next space. But by the time that the lease would fall through, so it was just a cycle.
Oh man, it wasn't just to go through that for 2 years.
It was so much that like by the time we had a lease, we didn't even tell anybody because we were sure that it was gonna fall apart.
Yeah, you're so jaded at that point.
We were. But we were doing, I think 2016, we were doing a pop-up at the mall, and we got the lease and we found a commercial kitchen like at the same time. So it was sort of all three things at once. So we were able to release our first product and then start getting the space ready. And we had the pop-up in the mall. So,
nice. So was that the pop-up in the mall? Was that like one of the kiosks?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get the commercial kitchen, you find the lease. Was your first location where you're currently at now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was thinking about that on the drive over here. I was like, I couldn't remember if you had another little shop and then kind of grew into that one. From the get-go, you've been where you're at now, which is where Restaurant Tallent used to be.
Yeah.
And so when did you finally open your doors there?
It was March 21st, I think, of 2017.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Man, you must be selling a lot of tea.
Yeah.
And you said you released your first product. What was that?
Yeah. So we did a line of 10 teas that we did like, we still have the line today, actually. It's like our signature line. And yeah, so that was our line.
So how do you come up with that? You source teas and then you kind of blend them together, or
see that sampler set, that was our first line there. We blend them together. We source, everything's organic, everything's fair trade or direct trade, or we just make sure that it's ethically like produced. Like some farms that we work with can't afford certification quite yet, but we know the farmers, we know that it's being.
You've probably even visited it yourself, and you're like, everything's on the up and up.
Yeah.
Well, and it's super expensive to get some of the certifications.
It really is. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like, we're not even certified organic. Like, we just write. We can say the organic in the ingredients list, but we can't say like organic like under our name or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you have such a following that everyone kind of already knows. So. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you opened the doors. You said May or March.
Yeah, March
of 2017.
Yes.
You already have developed a cult following.
Oh.
And you know what? Yeah. You did with the pop-ups and 3,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
You were doing something right. So what was that? Your first month in business. What was that like?
Oh my God, it was so exciting. It was. I still remember that first day. It was like it's hard to explain. Like it's like being on the top of a roller coaster and you see you start to go down the hill, and you start to feel like sort of that rise in your stomach and you're like start to scream and you're excited. It was like that. And I remember we went to, do you remember that Mexican restaurant that was where I think it was in an old Wendy's building right on North Walnut Street? I'm not sure even if there's the building still there anymore, but it was kind of close to like where Switchyard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't recall a Mexican restaurant up there. I
think it was a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, because there was Domino's and an Indian place.
Yeah. Or maybe it was an Indian place. Okay. Yeah. We went there right after. And I remember our feet hurt so bad because we tried to wear fancy shoes, but we were like on our feet all day. So
you're like, but you look nice.
Yeah. We looked really nice, but we were in a lot of pain. And yeah. And oh my God. And then, and we were just, because, you have this fear that like you're going to build it and, you generate all that excitement and all that hype and then nobody's going to come in and it's going to be empty.
Yeah.
And I remember walking in one day, maybe it was like the first couple weeks after we had been open and I just kind of had a sigh of relief because I was like, oh, people are here.
Yeah. People are coming in. You're good.
People are here. So,
well, then the next step from that is sustaining that, because a lot of people are like, oh, we're new and we're shiny. And
yeah.
What
we
were some
learned
of
that
the
lesson too.
Did you have any? Yeah. Well, I was going to say, what was that like? And what did you do to kind of counteract it?
So we opened in March. With I think end of May, that's when sort of summer, end of the school year kind of hit. And, we were expecting about a 30%, reduction in revenue. And that's what we got. But then in August, we thought it would go back to what it was before, but it didn't. It stayed the same. And so that kind of required us to do a lot of, we had to really rethink how we did everything. So we set up this really, really precise system of how we sort of monitor money's going in and money's going out. And then we put more emphasis on wholesale and website, especially wholesale. And in 2017, we really focused on that. So we would contact any business in the tri-state area that we thought that our product might fit in. We would just we would call them, we would email them, we would, just send them samples, trying to get in. We would walk around the square handing out like snacks to some of the businesses.
Man, I wish I was walking around the square then. Yeah. That sounds great.
And so it took about a couple of years, but that wholesale really helped that 30% deficit that we saw. And then after COVID or during COVID, that's when the website really started to blow up, and we've sort of kept on that momentum.
That's fantastic.
Too, yeah.
How much are you paying for your restaurant's business insurance? What's affordable for your needs? What does your agent do for you that isn't just policy writing? Tony Brown with First Insurance Group has a keen eye for the policies all restaurant owners and operators would love to have. Tony provides risk management and other HR resources free of charge as your agent. Tony has no waiting period for loss of business coverage starting from day one, minute one, unlike other carriers' 72-hour waiting period. Tony has no audit for liquor liability and general liability, saving you time so you can focus on running your restaurant. And Tony's insurance carrier is the preferred vendor of choice for the Indiana Restaurant and Lodging Association. Call or text Tony Brown with First Insurance Group today, 812-327-2321. Set up a free review of your current policy and see how Tony can help you protect your largest investment, your business. 812-327-2321. Are you wanting to move better, feel better, and live better? Look no further than Move Bloomington, where their small group personal training programs are designed to improve strength, balance, and flexibility. With a welcoming environment, their expertly guided workouts can help you feel supported in the life and activities you love in and out of the gym. Whether you're new to exercise, a lifelong athlete, or anywhere in between, their dedication to personalized programming will deliver sessions that meet you where you are. Get started today using the code NODISHES to get 50% off their 3-session Kickstart program. Bloom Magazine's second annual restaurant survey is live. Vote now for your favorite places for food and drink in any or all of the 25 categories. And don't miss the new category. Scroll all the way to the end to vote for the best restaurant in Bloomington. Use the QR code or go to magbloom.com/food. That's magbloom.com/FOOD to vote now. So when someone comes in to your location, what can they expect as far as you have, I've been in, and you have like wholesale stuff on the walls and all insane amount of options. I can't stress that enough.
It's a little overwhelming.
So many options. But you have really nice tables and food and drinks to get there. Can you kind of elaborate on your offerings when people come into your store?
Yeah. So I have ADHD, so I'm always making new things. So I think we've probably got 75 different types of tea.
Wow.
We have the tea wall. We have a seasonal drink menu where we're always doing like just kind of new drinks. And then we also do espresso. So we have, we do lattes. We make all of our syrups in-house. We have baked goods. We make cookies. I have a secret cookie recipe.
Ooh.
And
what makes it secret?
Do I have to say?
No, you don't.
Okay.
That would make it not secret.
I never know what the rules are with that. Like, do I have to tell you?
I wanted to see if you would. But you're good. You're good at keeping a secret.
Sometimes. And we just started doing these really cute little bento boxes.
Oh,
so
nice.
I just feel like it's very tea coded. Like, because, I don't know. For some reason, tea, I think of like little tiny things, And so we do these cute little bento boxes with like, some of them are like hummus and pita and little grapes and, like little snacky stuff, for when you're like working and you just need a little protein or
something to keep you going.
Yeah, something to keep you going.
Do some grazing.
Yeah, and we do these little sliders. We've been doing these like ham and Gouda sliders, and we did this one. It was like a hot chicken slider.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because the sliders fit right into the bentos.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I forget, and I don't think a lot of people know, is that you can go for a full lunch, essentially.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you have sandwich offerings.
We do, yeah. And, and then we just launched a new sister company in the store. So it's a perfume line. So we started making perfumes out of the teas and the herbs and stuff. So it's like a really complicated perfume.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can also
get
the idea
is like
perfume.
you spray it on, so it's like, ooh, I could drink you up. Like something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't recommend it. It'd be really strong. Yeah.
Ooh, there we go. Amber and Lotus, Spiced Orchid, Parisian Holiday, Luna. Yeah. They all sound so classy.
Yeah, we're very proud of them. And they're gender neutral too. So it's perfume for everyone.
Well, Parisian Holiday, Garrett, I'm thinking Parisian Holiday.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Garrett's more of an Amber and Lotus.
Yeah, the Luna we use smoked tea and a lotus in that one. And then the Parisian Holiday, we use our Paris breakfast tea in.
That's so cool. How recently did you do that?
God, we just started it. So it's been maybe it's October. I think we released it in October.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And what's the response been like?
It's been really good.
Really?
Yeah,
well, it looks,
response,
you're doing it from $15 too. So it's affordable, it's approachable.
Yeah, it's been really exciting, and it's it's just really fun. I really like learning things, and I mean that's what I love about tea in general, because tea is there's so much variety in it. You can make it taste like anything. Like I just made a s'mores tea.
Ooh.
Taste exactly like a liquid s'more.
Really?
Yeah, it's
just
crazy.
because with the different tea leaves.
Yeah, well, and I actually put dried marshmallows in it.
Okay.
and
Wow.
chocolate, and it's graham cracker.
And
like,
so,
it's
and then
crazy.
do you steep that?
Yeah, you steep
And
it.
that flavor comes through in
It
the
does.
steeping
It's
process.
amazing. I actually blew my own self away with that one.
You're preaching to the choir. I do it every day.
It took me 2 months. Like I kept messing up on it, but I finally got it right.
Yeah. Well, that's what a labor of love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's so interesting that you can, what a cool thing to just be able to be so creative and come up with these different things and just do the trial and error.
It's so fun. Yeah, especially with like the perfume. Like we learned how to make, gosh, I forget what it's called now, but it's where you like collect the condensation from like the herbs so that it keeps the hydrosol.
Okay.
So yeah, we learned how to make a hydrosol,
Interesting.
which is like really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so wild.
I know.
So yeah, you're just collecting the condensation off the herbs to get the scent.
Yeah,
That's fascinating.
Isn't
I
it?
didn't know that was a thing.
I know. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So anyway,
So yeah, I mean, I guess you said the website's huge. What I mean, if you don't would you say over half of your sales are website, or do you have a lot of retail? Just depends on the given month.
it depends on the given month. Yeah, I mean, we're heavy into wholesale and retail right now, and summer I think is probably mostly wholesale and website. And then, I think maybe during the school year, it sort of starts to lean more towards the shop.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you get a lot of students?
yes. And sometimes it goes by semester. So some semesters, we don't get as many. And then other semesters we get more. This semester we've been getting a lot of students.
That's great. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like there's a ton of sorority girls or just general undergrads that would just be all over it. Because what's such the aesthetic of the inside, it's very Instagrammable and it's just pretty and
Yeah, we try to make
nice.
it like comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to feel like you're on like having a little tea party.
Yeah.
Like it's, almost out of a book or something.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And sorry. I just had this, I just remembered. So we just started suspending flowers from the ceiling.
Nice.
Like
Okay.
these fluffy flowers. And then we had this idea that we were going to suspend teacups and put little lights in them.
Oh, I love it.
Add
Yeah.
to the ambiance.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're like, if you think it's Instagrammable now. you're like,
Exactly.
just wait.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have shit flying from the
Yeah.
ceiling.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to dive a little bit more into your menu. Or go ahead.
Sorry.
You're great.
I also just remembered too. We started bringing events back, so that's been
nice.
really exciting. And so we've got this comedy night that's been doing really well.
Really? Okay.
We just had it last night, and it was just really, I don't know, it was really exciting because it was. We haven't really had a lot of events since COVID, and it was just so nice to see, like, just to have the whole space full, and everyone just had such a great time. We had like a little stage, and there's like a mic, and it was really cool.
So did you guys organize that yourself, or did some local comedians come to you and say, hey, we'd like a space?
Well, actually, some local comedians came to us wanting a space. Yeah. One of our regular customers, and then one of my past employees who I'm actually partnering with on the perfume line. He's a comedian, and so she approached us.
Sweet. Who are they? Are you allowed to give them some love?
Yeah. It's Wyatt. Wyatt's the one that approached me.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, go check out Wyatt's comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, we're here to uplift. Let's send
Exactly.
them, get them some listens. Yeah, I feel like that'd be a nice thing on it would have been a Monday night? Just a Monday night, go out and grab some tea and some pastries and watch some comedy.
Fun.
Did you get up there and do any jokes yourself?
No, I didn't.
I would love if you just like had like a set that you did every time that was all just like tea and perfume jokes.
like tea puns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you do the same ones every time.
Every time. Yeah.
And then so,
actually, I could probably do that.
Because I think there's humor in that.
Yeah,
And just
I
you
agree.
just beating it.
Yeah.
Until people are like, really?
Yeah.
But you treat it like they're new every time.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, anybody? And they're like, yeah, we liked it the first 3 times.
Exactly.
Oh, there we
there
go.
it is.
Nice. Yeah,
Right
get
there.
it pulled up. If you go to the Cup and Kettle Tea Facebook, they've got a picture of some of the comedians, and they're all hamming it up for the camera too. Oh, I like that. Comet tea party.
Exactly.
Oh, see, God,
Really
I love a
leaning
good
into it.
pun.
I know.
That's so fantastic. And then I know you used to do, pop-ups with Abel back when he was at
Oh my
Hoosier
gosh,
Bistro, and now he's at
yes.
Half Bottle.
Oh, yeah, those were fun too. Yeah, we tried to do a different theme every time. And then we tried not to announce the theme and have everyone guess like what it was.
Yeah, did people figure it out?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What were some of the themes? Do you recall?
God, we did like a picnic theme. So we had I think we had like ants on a log. We had like checkered like everything.
Nice.
And then we did a yellow theme once where everything was yellow. Every dish was yellow.
Ooh.
Every tea was yellow. There was like sunflowers everywhere. Like everything was just like yellow.
Yeah,
yellow.
just shades.
Yeah.
That sounds. I feel like that'd be sweet. I feel like people should do more color themed pop up brunches. Or,
I think
they were
colors are
brunches,
great.
weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to recall. I never got a chance to go to one. So you should do one again so I can.
I should.
Because everything Abel touches food wise is gold.
Yes.
Best French dip of my life
Yes.
is at Half Bottle Bistro right now.
Yeah.
Have you been over to Half
I
Bottle?
have. Yeah.
What do you enjoy
I
over
had
there?
this pizza that was like, or maybe it was a flatbread.
Yeah, I think those are one of their newer menu items too.
It was amazing.
Yeah, they've been killing it. They did a really good ceviche.
Oh, I love
And then the French dip is newer, but I'm telling you, get the French dip at Half Bottle Bistro. You will.
I love a good French dip.
It's everything that I want. It's not as thin. Normally, French dip is real thin.
Yeah.
It's a little thicker. It's fatty, but it's got a good bread that holds up,
Nice.
but also soaks up the jus.
Yeah.
And then they got this really spicy mustard on it.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's perfect. It was perfect for my taste. It was
Yeah.
exactly what I want.
Yeah, I haven't had a good French dip since I lived in Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no place like home for the holidays. Don't miss Constellation Stage and Screen's family holiday musical, The Wizard of Oz, on stage December 12th through 29th at the Buskirk Chumley Theater. Travel down the yellow brick road with Dorothy and Toto in a whimsical journey filled with iconic songs and dazzling choreography. An absolute delight for audiences of all ages, The Wizard of Oz invites you to discover the magical power of home. See The Wizard of Oz on stage this holiday season, December 12th through 29th in downtown Bloomington. Find tickets at cconstellation.org. The No Dishes podcast is brought to you by visitbloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurant and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at visitbloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town. So, well, since you mentioned it, let's talk about your background a little bit.
Okay.
And you lived in Phoenix, obviously, for a little bit. Take us from the very beginning. Are you from Bloomington originally? Or?
Well, I'm from, I guess, mid-northwest-ish Indiana.
Okay.
And then I came here for college. And then...
So mid-northwest, is that like a little past Lafayette?
Like
or?
Greencastle?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then...
so grew up there. Did you ever work in restaurants when you were growing up?
Always. Yeah, I've been in restaurants my whole life.
So what were some of your high school restaurant experience?
Okay. Well, I've had a lot of jobs, so I've done just a lot of things. But my first restaurant experience was McDonald's. So I worked at McDonald's for
earned your
stars.
I love it. Yeah.
And then I worked at I worked at a few little diners. And then when I moved to Bloomington, I worked at McDonald's and I worked at a diner at the same time.
And you were starting at IU for that? Okay.
Yeah. And then when I was like 22, 23, I was like, I'm way too old for Bloomington. So I decided to move to Phoenix and I studied yoga and then I worked at some restaurants there. So I worked at this really, really nice restaurant in Phoenix, but I don't remember what it was called now. But I worked there for a little bit and then I worked at this diner that had the best omelets that I've ever had ever. they were like shaped like footballs. Like he would just, he did this wrist thing and like it would just turn by itself.
Yeah, I see reels of those, and then you just like slice it and it just like
it was so amazing. I don't even like omelets, but his were like so good.
I love that.
Yeah,
the best omelet I've ever had. I don't even like omelets.
Yeah, I don't even like omelets.
Not even
so
the best omelet I've
good.
had. It's the only omelet I've had that I've liked.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, and it was just like the texture of it, right?
Yeah, it was. It was the texture. And he made the best hash browns too. And I always try to recreate it at my house. And I could never do it.
You should get with Abel and just tell him what you're looking for.
I should.
And I bet he could recreate it.
Yeah, I've seen him do it. Like I saw that chef do it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And he made it look so easy.
Right, yeah, and that's how it looks on these reels I see
Yeah.
of the omelets that I think are the ones you're talking. And I can't remember the style it is, but it looks so easy.
Like,
I'm like,
just with the wrist.
I could do that.
Yeah, he's just flicking it with the wrist.
Yeah, and then Garrett, let's fancy omelet. There it is. Is it the Japanese omelet, right? Where it's just like that's the one I'm thinking of, where it is like like a football.
Yeah.
And then you slice it and it like unfolds.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Omarise? Huh? Omu rice.
We didn't even know it was
phonetically, or did you just know that?
It was just like a diner. It was just like a diner. But that was
well, and then there's that one where it's like they do the chopsticks and they like twirl them.
Wow.
And it like also turns it into like a specialty kind of omelet.
See, I worked at a really nice diner.
I know, apparently.
Yeah.
So you're in Phoenix. You're studying yoga.
Yep.
You're working in nice diners, having delicious omelets. What made you come back to Bloomington?
I started teaching yoga in Phoenix, and then it was like 2009. Market crashed. My partner and I both lost our jobs. I was pregnant, so we decided to come home. And just kind of start over. We were ready to come home anyway. We really missed the Midwest. We missed green. Everything was just so beige, and even like just everything. So it was really nice to come back to seasons, and I've just been here ever since. I've been in Bloomington ever since.
So when you got back to town, what did you start doing?
Well, I got a little back into yoga again. I worked at another restaurant, and then I got into mental health.
Yeah.
I finished my degree.
Fantastic.
And then I opened the tea shop.
Sweet. So you were just working in mental health when you opened?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, cool. Have you found any correlation between the two? Because I feel like tea has maybe a calming effect. Yeah.
Well, it's funny so working in restaurants, like my biggest, there's always like that mother hen, like of the servers. I worked, I think, every position in a restaurant. But I was mostly a server. And so there's always that mother hen that's like 5 or 10 years older than the rest.
Yeah.
And she always kind of takes care of everyone. And that was always my biggest fear. I was like, I never want to be that person, I have to figure out my life, so I don't become that. And then, with the tea shop, it's like I've come full circle and I've become the mother hen, and now I'm just fully embracing it. Like I just love it.
But you got to be that while you're also the owner.
Exactly.
It's not like you're not just working at the tea shop,
course. Yeah, but I love. There's like a certain romance to it, Like I just really love, just people coming in, and I get to hear about their day, and I develop a lot of relationships with people.
I'm sure you have a good amount of regulars, I'd imagine.
Yeah. And that's what I really like. I like making something, tea. Usually when people think of tea, they think of something comforting, right? So I just feel like I get to provide that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really rewarding.
What are your hours like as far as when you're open?
Well, they kind of change because I'm a single parent now, but it's usually 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Every day, or close Sundays, or?
We're open Sundays. I think it's 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Nice. Yeah. The more we're talking, I was like, man, I need to just take my laptop in there and just go
You
work.
should, yeah.
And just like sip on tea and feel classy.
Yeah, and I make so many things. Like I make a million things. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
like
so you'll just like bring little things by to sample?
Yeah,
this is
all
great.
the time. All the time.
I was already sold, but now I'm like, all in.
Yeah, all sorts of flavors. I just did like one I call Spooky Forest, and it tastes like a walk it through the forest.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love it. What's your like favorite tea?
My favorite tea, it's a long leaf golden tipped black tea from Nepal.
Okay.
It's really, really good. It's called Kumari Gold. It tastes like honeysuckle and caramel.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that sounds
So
fantastic.
who wouldn't like that?
And so what would you do? Just do that, just steeped hot. That's all you need to do.
And I for my tea, this is not a popular opinion, but I steep my tea for like 2 seconds and then I drink it.
Really?
Yeah. So I just like light brown water
interesting
when I drink it. But when I'm testing it, I will test it the way that, it's
gonna probably be served.
served.
Yeah,
supposed to be served.
Do you have anyone on your tasting team, or is it generally just you kind of coming up with stuff?
I have this group of regulars that I experiment with, like that they get all my experimental teas.
Nice.
And so they'll give me notes, about, how they how it makes them feel. Sometimes I give them little questionnaires and they'll have to answer.
I love that. You're like, hey, come in here. I'm going to put you to work.
Yeah, it'll depend. And I also I'll get really interested in different herbs. And so sometimes I'll get so interested in an herb, I'll only drink that herb for a period of time so I can figure out exactly how it makes me feel so that I can, I don't know, better work with it, and when I'm building other drinks in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I have, and I even, I have a local, I have local groups that I test things out on. And then I have further away groups that I ship things to.
There you go. Okay. So you've got different levels of tea.
Yeah, I have different levels of testing depending on how much I think I want to distribute it, you know? Yeah. Because I have lots of weird little projects. I have, I just did this kind of powdered health tea line where I did a mushroom tea, and then I did a super matcha tea blend. And then I did something for sort of organ support, if that makes sense. Just to kind of keep your organs healthy.
Yeah.
So that I'm still it's still in the experimental phase where it's still in trials.
Right. Yeah.
I've still got people testing
before
it out
you go
for
start
me.
making claims.
Yeah. Well, I'm not making any claims, but I'm not selling it.
Right.
I'm just here, take this mushroom tea.
Better business, better community. For over a century, the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce has been a cornerstone of business growth and community development. They are dedicated to helping local businesses thrive. Their business is all about your business. Join the Chamber today. Call 812-336-6381 or visit chamberbloomington.org to learn more. The Bloomington Town Planner is a community calendar owned and published by local residents John and Sharon Martin. Mailed out to Bloomington homes in December of each year, it features school schedules and community events. And don't forget the coupons at the bottom of the calendar. They'll save you money and help you decide on the next restaurant or retailer to check out here in the Bloomington area. Town Planner also has an online calendar which can be found at townplanner.com. Make sure to sign up for their weekly e-newsletter so you can stay on top of all the fun events going on around town. So, as far as I see stuff where it's mushroom coffee, mushroom tea, nootropics. Have you obviously looked into most of this?
Yes. I love nootropics. So I also developed a line of nootropics. I did that probably 5 years ago, actually. I even made one that tastes kind of like an old fashioned.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's really, really good. Yeah.
So how do you accomplish that? As far as are you getting a whiskey bourbon flavor from a tea?
Yeah. So I'll pick a tea, that I think would, pair with it. And then I sort of pair it with different, herbs that would sort of, so sometimes if your body is, if like your adrenals or something is like depleted in a certain thing, if you have, it
Like
can make you feel like,
nutrient or-
nutrient or something, then, and you have more of it, then you feel a little like happy or loopy or what,
Yeah.
whatever when you get it. So I'll add some like, herbs that would support those things, if that makes sense.
So yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So if someone comes in, they're like, hey, I'm feeling foggy. I'm lethargic.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, here, I've got the perfect tea for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I need to start, like next time I'm not feeling well, I need
Mm-hmm.
to come in and not spread whatever I have,
Mm-hmm.
but just to be like, hey, Jessica, what can you do for me? Like,
Yeah, I do that all the time. I have a lot of people that do that. Most people don't even order. They're just like, Jessica, just make me something.
That's great. Yeah. Well, you think like, oh, I'm sick. I'm going to go get soup or ramen or pho. And it's like, no, go get some tea.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll clear you right up. Nice little hot.
Right.
I know we touched on some of the baked goods and hot food, but I'm a sucker for baked goods. So you've got the secret recipe cookie. What are the other things that people can expect when they come in?
But we always have the matcha butterscotch cookies. Those are really popular. Sometimes we do like a chocolate Earl Grey cookie. That's really popular.
So a lot of times you're incorporating tea into the baked goods.
Yeah. And then we usually try to have some kind of little cake because I feel like you just have to have some kind of cake.
When you're a tea shop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or just in life in general.
Yeah.
There always has to be cake.
Yeah, exactly. And quiche. We always have like quiche.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah. So, because I know you said you can't maybe always get like a full sandwich, but sometimes. What
Yeah.
are some of the other? You mentioned the sliders, but those
Yeah.
seem to be more recent with the bento boxes.
Yeah.
But generally, you have one or two sandwiches available.
Yeah. Generally, like we'll have a couple sandwiches. I did like a deviled egg slider.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Those are pretty good.
I'm known within my friend group and maybe some people in the local foodies thing about my love for egg salad.
Really?
So that's like you're speaking my language. Like deviled egg slider is.
That's next level.
Yeah, I've never heard those words put together, and I'm still processing it. It just sounds so good. Okay, so you recently did those, and you're gonna have them again, so I can come try them.
Yes. Yes. Ooh, and we started doing it's like that cheese, pimento cheese with the like figgy crackers.
Ooh,
I love the figgy crackers.
I love pimento cheese. Hive does a great one.
Yeah,
we
they
did a
do. They really do.
really good one back when Sweetgrass, under the original owners, when I worked there. The pimento burger. I'm sure some people know about it. It was so good.
Yeah, I started putting sometimes in the quiche. I'll throw some pimento cheese in there.
Oh, nice. I
It
bet
does
that's
come out-
fantastic.
It does. Yeah, it is.
I did a quiche from Crumble today. And
Really?
that was solid.
Nice.
That was very good. Yeah, I need to get. See, I come in to work on college,
Oh, I see.
so I need to start popping over
Yeah.
to Walnut and
Yeah.
just hitting you on the way in.
Exactly.
Well, and just spend my whole workday there.
Yes.
So I can just be like, Jessica, what do you need an opinion on anything? What can I help out
Exactly.
with? So for someone coming in for their first time, do you kind of suggest, what you said your favorite is, or do you have just kind of generally ask their taste to guide them?
Yeah, that's what I always ask their taste, because everyone's a little bit different. And I've never met anyone that doesn't like tea. I met a lot of people who think that they don't like tea, but tea's so varied that it's, it could literally taste like anything.
Right.
But when you come in, I have I have the full list of teas, and then I have a condensed list of like our popular teas and recommendations based on like, if you want something caffeinated or uncaffeinated, or maybe like a green tea. And then another good list to look at is the seasonal drinks, because those are always like a little special and kind of go with the vibe.
Yeah,
of like,
concoctions you've come up with.
Yeah.
And you can do pretty much anything hot or iced, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is that like? If I come in, I'm like, hey, I want this tea and I want it iced.
Mm-hmm.
Do you steep it hot
Yeah.
and then just pour it over ice,
Yes.
essentially?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we make like a concentrate, and then
So even when the water the ice melts. Okay. Oh, nice. I love it. I'm here for it. I'm just like sitting here like, why don't I drink tea more? Because isn't it like the number one worldwide? It's like way ahead of coffee.
it really is.
But in
yeah.
America, coffee just dominates.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Well, It's all because of the Tea Party, because of the taxation.
Yeah.
It's so funny how history like affects us, in every day.
Yeah, here in 2024, the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah, it's still affecting us.
Yeah, instead of Starbucks. Like Starbucks would be some large tea chain.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned, getting back to doing the comedy and, events and haven't been doing many. Is there anything else maybe on the horizon? You're on rolling out perfumes, but anything that, people might expect to see out of Cup and Kettle in the future?
Oh my gosh. I'm probably.
You're like, but I don't know yet.
I can't think of anything else.
If there's one thing, you're like, I said I have ADHD. I'm doing new things.
I'm always doing new things.
You're like, I just don't know what they are yet.
Yeah, we started doing a lot of art. We do have a lot of art in the store.
Fantastic.
And sometimes we have like little art nights where we'll just have like little gallery nights. We'll get different artists together and, kind of show off some pieces.
Is it like local art that people can buy? So like when you go in, it says like so-and-so, $75.
Whatever. Yeah. And a lot of things, exactly.
Whoa, you not only have it that's so cool. The fact that not only you have it in the dining room, but it's available on the website.
Exactly, yeah.
I like Cookie. Yeah. That's good.
Ruby, so my daughter, she actually sells the most art in the store. It's really funny. People really love her art. She's holding the "I'm just a potato" piece.
It makes you think, and that's what good art does.
Yeah. She's already sold that piece 3 times.
That's so good. She's underselling $5.
Yeah.
She needs to up her price.
Well, yeah. But maybe that's why she keeps selling
Supply and demand. Yeah. I feel like you get 20 out of that. Barcelona at night, Barcelona back. Oh yeah, these are great pieces. I act like I know art, but like from my uncultured, uneducated eyes, they look fantastic.
Yeah, I started doing a lot of clay and putting like clay on canvas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So some of this is you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet. So you have yourself, you have your daughter, and then you have other local artists.
Yep. Yeah, and then there's other local artists in the store now that aren't on the website too.
Yeah, so man, you just have so many avenues for expression.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh yeah, I'm teaching, I think at the library, I think in February, I'm teaching a tea blending class, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to make myself write a book on tea blending.
Oh, you should.
So that'll be fun when I do it. I'm working on it right now.
Yeah, you have this wealth of knowledge. Might as well put it down on paper. And who knows, you might not have to work another day in your life if it takes off.
Never know.
Do you partner with anyone kind of locally on, sounds like the way you're looking at me.
Yeah.
There's quite a few things.
Oh, yeah. We work with a lot of people. We're in we work with a lot of bars for with drinks because, tea infuses with cocktails and stuff really nicely. We work with a lot of other coffee shops.
Who are some of the people you partner with?
We partner with Morgan Stearns. We partner with, we're at Blooming Foods.
So wholesale Blooming Foods?
Yeah.
And then Morgan Stearns with their coffee shop.
With their coffee shop. And now, oh gosh, we're at a lot of places, and now I can't. Now I feel like
You're
I'm
fine.
on the spot.
I put you on the spot. You're good. But yeah, you're partnering with a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants, also wholesaling.
That new coffee shop that's they do a lot of gluten-free. They're gluten-free certified.
Brightside Cafe.
Brightside, yeah.
They're so great. Yeah, Abe and John came
great.
on, and man, talk about going somewhere and just if you could just eat everything and have no clue that it was gluten-free.
Yeah, exactly.
They just do such a great job.
They really do.
Have you? So everything you make baked good wine, it's all stuff, or everything you serve is made in house. So you're making your own stuff.
Yeah, I also think we might still have a beer at Upland that was they did. It was. I think it's a sour.
Was it Pedal to the Kettle? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That beer. I mean, they had that before I quit drinking, and it was fantastic. It was one of my favorites. Pedal to the Kettle. It's a tart, part of the tart series.
Is it the one with the peach? Oh no, wait, no, it's the one with the. There's one with peach.
Two of tarts. Tropical Goes.
No.
I don't know.
I think it's on their board. Like if you go inside.
Okay, cool. But
with
reach
the
out to
peach
you.
blossom, yeah.
Are you finding that, as you're so established, more and more people just reach out to you? You don't even have to go find them.
Yeah, and I love it. And
It's nice.
really fun,
when you don't have to go give out a ton of samples on the square and
Yeah.
you've gotten yourself established.
Yeah. It's so funny. I'm so used to we've been doing the handmade market now for
Nice.
Ever since 2016 or 2017, I'm not sure. And I remember when the first 3 or 4 years, like every customer, we would have to be like, introduce ourselves, explain what we did, like explain the process, and now we don't have to say anything. And it's just so nice to feel so embraced by, the community and just feel like people have like their favorite teas and, favorite things.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Well, the one thing that's come through in just these 30, 45 minutes we've been talking is your passion for what you're doing. So I feel like anytime you're that passionate, you care that much, people are going to recognize that.
Yeah.
And
I just feel so lucky that I get to every day, I can just do what I love,
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So many people would kill for that,
Exactly.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you still have your original partner in the business or?
No. So I bought her out in 2020, actually.
Okay. So it's just you now.
It's just me now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was really scary. I remember I was actually at the handmade market, I think 2019, the Christmas, and I was trying to decide because CFC had our building at the time and they were ready for us to renew our lease. And I was like, I don't know. Because, my partner was ready to do something else. And I didn't know if I was ready to let go of it yet. And so I was trying to decide. And I had a booth right next to Jeff Meese.
Jeff Meese.
Yeah. And so we got to chatting and I was kind of telling him about the situation or, just about how I was having a hard time deciding. And just because I felt like I had a lot on my plate already with just half the responsibility and the thought of having all of it.
Overwhelming. I'm sure.
Very overwhelming. So, and I knew like he had a lot more on his plate, than I did. So I was like, if he, what's your secret? Tell me. And so he started talking to me about like open management systems. And so I really took that to heart, like that advice that he gave me to heart. And I implemented it with the team. And I really noticed such a shift where all of a sudden my staff and it felt more like a team effort than like they were coming into a job. Like all of a sudden, like it felt like we were working towards a common
common goal.
Yeah.
And they were bought in.
Yeah. And so and that just took so much stress off of me. And I actually felt less stressed. And then after, COVID and everything, I remember after about 9 months in, I was thinking back and I was like, I didn't regret my decision. And I was like, well, if I don't regret it now, I probably made the right decision, right? Because so much time had gone by.
Yeah, Jeff's been on a couple times and has spoken about how they do that with one word, everything within one word. What did that look like for you? Essentially just showing the staff, hey, these are the expenses we have. This is the revenue.
Yeah, well, it was that. And then, I showed him the breakdown because we have a really, so Kayla and she was my partner that I opened the store with originally. She and I had a really precise sort of like spreadsheet on how we allocated funds. Everything was based on percentage points. So we have, the revenue coming in, and then there's a percentage for profit, a percentage for owner draw, a percentage for like revenue or operating expenses, taxes, and then it shows, fixed expenses and, not fixed expenses. And so I showed the staff all of that, which, I think they really liked because then all of a sudden, like they kind of see, how the gears are moving, like, behind the scenes. And then everyone sort of took on a role, of what they were sort of responsible for. And I try to keep the role in line with something that they were passionate about, so that they felt like they were getting, or they were learning useful tools that they could apply in their futures. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So like someone who is like really passionate about cooking, they would be in charge of managing the grocery list, managing, menus and stuff like that. And someone who's really passionate about photography would be doing a lot of the, photographing a lot of things for the website and doing a lot of marketing kind of stuff.
That's so great, because it helps you out. And, in a city like Bloomington, you have all these students that work for you. Yeah. And now you can give them more experience than just a job.
Exactly.
That they can take and run.
Yeah.
with.
And they can actually do something that they're passionate about every day and feel like, and so they can have some, everyone wants to do what they're passionate about.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. It's Jeff brought it up, and then I'm just like, man, we need to do that at the Moose. This might be what finally pushes us to try to explore that a little bit more.
Yeah, and there is, I did learn, that there is a line where, you have to also be mindful that not everyone wants to be a business owner.
Right.
And so not everyone wants to shoulder that responsibility. And so, there is sometimes a line of I guess the responsibility, like you don't
or
want
just
to
recognizing maybe who is happy just coming in, clocking in,
exactly,
and doing the standard stuff,
right?
And then who wants to maybe take on a little bit more,
exactly.
And it's not necessarily anything wrong if someone doesn't want.
It's not. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you so the last thing we always talk about on here is places you like to go out to eat, and maybe places you like to grab a drink at. What are some of your favorites?
Oh man. So I like Uptown drinks. I really like the old fashioned. That's sort of my go-to drink.
Okay, yeah.
And I love I like to go to C3 a lot. And
do you like to just sit up at the bar top?
Actually, no, I never sit at the bar top.
Really?
There.
You're a get a table kind of gal.
I get a table kind of gal, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I like to sit in the down area,
Right.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then I really like do you remember that little wine cocktail place?
A Monopole?
No, it was right next to Blooming Foods.
Small Favors.
Yeah, I loved that place.
That was
really nice.
my number one.
Yeah.
It was Nick Dietrich, that whole crew, Bryant Fox. Everything they did.
They served my tea.
Huh?
They used to serve my tea.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so good.
Yeah, it was so good.
It's they would just constantly change the menu.
Yeah.
And so I would just go in, and I had a few misses, but everything else was such a home run that I was like, I want that. I'm totally fine having a couple that, maybe when you're getting things that are just they don't play it safe. They're going big or going home, you know, and you're just going in, you're just, oh shit, I've never had, and they had my favorite mignonette I've ever had with oysters. Their mignonette was so good. But yeah, that space is still for lease.
Yeah.
For
I actually used to live right behind there. Same in this. Really?
So I was 2 doors down. It's the limestone building.
I was right behind the limestone building, that garage that was converted into a little.
Yeah, I know. I had some friends that lived there. My girlfriend at the time, her and I lived. It was west something. But they had the bottom half as offices. And then above, you'd walk in the back door, walk up, and the whole upstairs attic that was all finished, but had a kitchen. It wasn't, still had plenty of height, but it was a really, really cool spot, especially great location. But we ended up breaking up. I had to pay all that rent myself. It was not cheap. And so I just finished out my lease and was like, all right, I'm going somewhere I can afford.
Just the electric bill in that house, because there was no insulation in the garage. And so it was $500 a month. And that was
That's wild.
10 years ago.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, hey, you made it happen. Yeah, right over there. So yeah, the Chambers office is there, 7th and Morton. So right down there on your left, right there on your left, Garrett. No one else can see this, but it doesn't. Yeah, that building.
Yeah,
on your
right behind that building. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you have Bloom magazine.
Yeah, I'm right there.
On the left.
Right behind that other direction. Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. So I had friends that lived in that one actually when we lived over there. So you'd go in that back, and so you've got Bloom magazine on the north side of 6th Street, on the west side of the alley. I was in the building on the right, or east side of the alley. But yeah, it was a cool spot. Gary Scott was my landlord. Shout out, Gary. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
We used to have to tape our money on the front door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we had to leave our cash on the front door.
That's so wild.
Tape it in like an envelope.
I wonder, I think the house I lived in before that, I think they were the landlords that actually had that space, and I can't remember their names, but they were a really, really nice couple.
Nice.
And they had like Tempo Property take care of their stuff, but they were the owners. Sweet. Anywhere else you didn't mention that you'd like to go grab some food, grab a drink at?
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's lots of places.
But you're like, I hit the favorites.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It was always good seeing you. You know, we have some mutual friends, so we've gotten to know each other over the years, and glad we can make this happen and talk tea. And you could put up you stuck through my terrible British accent.
I did. I made it.
Bravo. That was my let's see if see if she's gonna stay. Well, yeah, like I mentioned, you're so passionate about everything you do. It shines through so much where I'm getting excited. Just because you're excited. So it's so cool to see that you guys are so established, that you've done so well. It's with good reason. So Cup and Kettle Tea Company, go check them out if you haven't already. Just in between 6th and 7th on the east side of Walnut. And maybe I'll be in there working, sampling. So cool. Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go. You can't laugh, Garrett. All right, here we go. There you go, little fella. Oh! What another great episode. Thanks so much to Season 7 presenting sponsor. Visit Bloomington. Check them out. Visit Bloomington.com. As always, keep those hands dry. This episode of the No Dishes Podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Garrett Portinga of Green Hat Media in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Indiana.
No Dishes Media.
No Dishes Media.